On May 19th, 2010, Mets outfielder Angel Pagan made MLB history. He became the first player in 55 years to hit an inside-the-park home run.
Here, 194. Hit in the air to deep center field. Back goes Morgan and bouncing away. He's going to be waved home. Here comes the relay throw to the plate by Desmond. He's safe and inside the park home run.
And then turn a triple play in the same game.
Pagan coming on. Did he make the catch? The catch is going to be a triple play. Reyes steps on second. The throw to first, and it's a triple play.
To put that into perspective, there's only been around 739 triple plays in MLB history. So yeah, that's pretty crazy. Now, as I said earlier, he's the first to do it in 55 years. So there have been other people that have done this. And one of them, quite frankly, did it way better than Angel. Because this person turned a triple play and hit an inside the park grand slam in the same game. And this person's name is Ted Kazanski. Not to be confused with that other guy that did that stuff. They're very different people, I promise. Meet the 6-year Philadelphia Phillies second baseman Ted Kazanski. Remember, it's Kazanski, not the other one. He played for the Phillies from 1953 to 1958. And he was bad. Also, let's get this out of the way real quick off the top because we hit you with a bit of clickbait with this one. But I mean, we just kind of thought it was a funny idea, so enjoy, I guess. Kazanski was born in Michigan and grew into a baseball prodigy. He signed with the Phillies for $100,000 as a 17-year-old in 1951, which in today's money is around like a bajillion freaking dollars or something. On the day he graduated from high school as one of the most desired young prospects in America. He went to college in the state of Michigan too, playing at the University of Detroit Mercy. Now let's get more into Ted Kazanski as an actual big league player. It's hard to tell what he was actually good at on the ball field. His hitting was bad. He only stole 4 bases in 6 years, and his defense was net negative according to wins above replacement. My best guess is that he must have benefited from a primitive baseball environment that couldn't actually use data or technology to sink into what actually made him suck and expose him for being so behind the curve, at least to the extent that it can nowadays. Data just didn't travel that well back then. Everything had to be sent through the mail. I'm gonna guess they at least thought his defense was good though, because the Phillies moved their shortstop Granny Hamner, no way that's a real name, are you kidding me, to accommodate Kazanski when he first came up to the big leagues as a shortstop, creating the potential double play combination of Ted Kazanski and Granny Hamner in Philly. We've explained this many times, so bear with me, but for anyone watching who doesn't obsess over baseball in a similar way that I do when I see a shiny new Counter-Strike skin, WAR is a stat that stands for wins above replacement. It takes the standards every player had based on when they were playing and what position they played, and qualified how many added wins that player would add based on their on-field contributions. Hitting, pitching, running, fielding, all of it, as opposed to what's called a replacement level player. A hypothetical player who adds or subtracts no true value that you call up from the minor leagues to just simply exist. Aaron Judge was the MLB WAR leader last season at 10.8 for reference, meaning Aaron Judge added about 10.8 more wins of value than a replacement level outfielder. And Ted Kazanski's best season ever was at 0.0 WAR. He was literally that hypothetical player for his best season. 62 games of 0.0 wins above replacement was his career best. The best he could ever do was a bland, interchangeable replacement level stat. His career WAR total, -6. One of the very lowest players in the entire history of the major leagues. Like in the top 5 to 10 least productive net negative WAR players in MLB history type bad. Players like him don't really exist anymore. Only one of his 10 most similar career batters by similarity score have played at all in the last 20 years, and that's former Rockies, Rangers, Orioles, and Mets infielder Omar Quintanilla. He did manage to hit 14 bombs though, which which for a second baseman in those days isn't laughable, I guess. We're still decades away from second basemen being considered decent, explosive threats in the lineup, so Ted averaging a little over 2 dingers a season as a second baseman, mesmerizing stuff, gotta tell ya. Blows me away. I mean, hey, it could always be worse. He could have only hit an average of 1 home run per year. I wonder what a good nickname would have been for a guy who only hits 1 bomb per year. I got something on the tip of my tongue, but I just can't put my finger on it. But again, this was a young, promising player from the get-go, and this doesn't really take away from the achievements he did have. He broke into MLB at just 19 years old, over 9 years younger than the average MLB player at the time. And he was the first shortstop since they invented RBI as a stat to have 4 RBI in their major league debut. And he was the first ever big leaguer under the age of 20 to hit an in-the-park home run. Ted Kazanski was the kid. They should have given him a nickname like that. Everyone had nicknames when he played. He overlapped in the big leagues with a guy named Vinegar Ben Mazel. A funny overlap though is, you know who did get the nickname the kid though, is Ken Griffey Jr., the second teenager to hit an inside the park home run and the first since Mr. Ted Kazanski. He was also a very intelligent ball player who worked off-season jobs in insurance, a field he'd go back to after he retired, because oh yeah, he played in a time where ball players had to have second jobs to make ends meet. But because he was worth -6 WAR in his career, hit nearly half as well as the average player around him, didn't steal any bases, and didn't play extraordinary defense, he was sent back down to the minor leagues in 1958 and he never came back. He whittled away in the minor leagues for the next 6 years before calling it quits, chasing that dream again from afar while never attaining it. However, his spirit is still there in Philly today. He represented the history of Philly's infielders wearing number 7 for many years, and their future looked bright in his retirement. Today, you can find fellow Phillies infielder wearing number 7, Trey Turner, carrying on the legacy of Ted Kazanski, blowing minds and shipping balls into the stands. Although there is one major difference between the two, and that is that Trey Turner is actually pretty good at baseball. But to Ted's credit, he didn't hole up and hide and recluse himself from the game of baseball in his retirement. He went into coaching in both the Tigers organization and at his college alma mater, giving back to the game after his playing days came to an end. But you want to know something awesome to finish off this video? Ted Kazanski is still alive today at 91 years old. He is currently the 49th oldest living former MLB player, more than 65 years after his final MLB game. He may not have been the best batter or base runner or infielder. His WAR wasn't very good. In fact, he was pretty terrible actually. You get the point. But he did leave his mark on the game he loved in his own way. And at the end of the day, that's all you can really ask for. Just if you want to look him up, make sure you spell his name exactly like this. Otherwise, it might pull up this other random guy for some reason. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. As always, if you liked it, make sure to like and subscribe. Of course, any engagement helps with the algorithm. And speaking of engagement, if you made it all the way to the end, comment the letter P down in the comments. Or just anything. It all helps out. Anyways, have a lovely day, gamers. Peace.